So hi everyone who happens to be watching. I'm Eric Harper from RTR High School, and it's Monday, July 14th, and this Wednesday, July 16th, I am going to be heading out on kind of the biggest adventure I've ever had, really, in my life. I'm going to be flying from little old Sioux Falls, South Dakota to Paris, France. I guess the reason that I'm doing this is that, as some of you may know, we're leading a trip next year, next June. A bunch of RTR high school kids, a bunch of my students are going to be heading on a trip to Europe, to London, Paris, and Rome. And on this trip this summer, I've got a chance to go over, I've got a chance to get trained in as far as how to lead a group with EF tours over to Europe, and how to interact in that culture, and just getting to know what to expect on a tour of this nature. The training trip that most of the other teachers are taking is just the few days in Paris. By the time we get there, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday in Paris, and then fly back home again on Sunday. It's sort of just a quick, like an extended weekend. My trip's a little different. I'm sticking around in Europe a little longer after the rest of the teachers leave, and I'll be taking the train over to London, and I'll have about 2.5 to 3 days over there where I can explore and do my own thing and see what I want to see. So why am I recording this video? I guess I want to record a little bit of kind of my thoughts before I leave on the trip. I'm excited about a lot of things, but I'm also apprehensive about a lot of things. And I'm going to be documenting my experiences as I go for these next 7+ days. And I would just want to let particularly the RTR students who are going to be going next year, let them know some of the things that I'm going to be going through, so they know what to expect when they go on their trip. But also just for friends, for family, for supporters of our trip, for people in general. Just kind of want to document my experiences. And don't worry, not all of these videos are going to be extended video selfies like this. I don't like shooting selfies at all, and video selfies suck even harder. And so I'll try to actually include some scenery and some things that are going on in the actual places I'm visiting. You won't have to look at my ugly mug the whole time. But a couple of things, I guess. I'm trying to think. I'm very excited about the trip, but I'm just weird things that I'm excited about. To be totally honest, I'm excited about the idea of walking up to an ATM and getting euros out of it, or getting pounds out of it. I know that sounds just completely weird, of all the stupid things to be excited about, but to me, that moment when I'm able to do that will be like, I've arrived. I'm in Europe now. There's different money in the ATM. Maybe that's stupid. Maybe that's my own little quirky thing, but that's one of the things I'm actually really looking forward to. The other thing is, and people who have had me as a teacher know that I've been maybe a little hard on the French over the years, and to be totally honest, a lot of that I've played that up just because it's fun. But on the other hand, I know that I'm a little scared, I guess, a little apprehensive, because I know that Americans aren't exactly really popular in very many other countries, and I'm a little nervous about that. I know that it's interesting. I was talking with my friend Dr. Wrightson from SDSU, a history professor over there, and he's British, and that was the consolation that he could give me as far as going to France, was that at least I wasn't British. I was at least a small step higher on the totem pole than being British. I'm not sure that being American is such a step up as far as that goes, but I'm a little apprehensive about that. Of course, when I get over to England, I get the feeling that it's probably not all going to be rosy over there. I don't know if there's anywhere in the world that Americans are actually liked. So I'm going to have to be careful. I think we've got this American expectation that if we're nice and polite and whatever to other people, that they'll take it in the spirit that it's intended, and I don't know that that's necessarily going to be the case. I've got a disguise ready, though. I've been listening to a lot of hockey announcers, and if need be, I think I can pull off the disguise that I need to exist in Europe as a North American, but we'll see what happens with that. The other thing, though, realistically, even though I've ripped on the French, I've kind of had some fun with them in my classes over the years. Let's face it, I'm going to a city that is 2,000 years old. Paris is over 2,000 years old. The earliest inhabitants the earliest signs of inhabitation in the area that is now Paris date back before the Romans even got there. London the same way. It's a city that's 2,000 years old. It goes back to Roman times. The city that we live in here has been here 125 years, and it doesn't even compare. And I think that's part of the fascination with this trip. It's part of the nature of this trip. The idea of going and seeing places that actually have this accretion of layers and layers of history and layers of interest and intrigue and just the human drama of civilization. There's something interesting and fascinating to me about flying across the Atlantic. Not just because it'll be flying over water, and that's fascinating, but as Americans, we have this sort of self-centered idea that history flows naturally from east to west. We got done with things in Europe, and then we came to the new continent, and we settled on the east coast of that, and we pushed on forward until we took over the whole thing, and this is where it's at. And to go back east across the Atlantic is stepping back in time to places that we don't probably appreciate to the level that we should. And maybe I'm just speaking for myself here. I don't want to generalize about Americans in general, but I think we have some cultural roadblocks to understanding other cultures as well as we should. And so as I go through, and as I'll try to do these videos, I'll try to keep them shorter than this, but I'll try to do a couple of minutes of video every day, or maybe a couple of times a day if something is interesting. I see something that I like, something that I want to report on, and just give you my impressions. I'm 41 years old, and this is my first time out of the country, really. I went fishing in Canada as a kid. I've been to Tijuana, Mexico, but this is my first time to a really foreign place. And I'm excited and a little apprehensive about that, and I want to capture, at my age, kind of that innocent, sort of naive response to that, kind of the first exposure to all of these things, so that people who aren't going on the trip can understand it and enjoy it, and so that the kids who are going with me next year in June of 2015 on the big trip, the Paris, London, and Rome trip, that they will maybe have a little bit of understanding of what I went through and kind of my personal experiences and how I saw things and thought of things and what it's all about to go from the middle of nowhere, Russell or Tyler or Ruthven, Minnesota, to go and see Paris, to go and see London, to go and see places where there's deep history, I guess is the best way to put it. So that's it for now. I'll sign off for now. I will talk to you soon. If you like what we're doing here, if you like what I'm doing, if you want to know more, follow the RTRHS to Europe on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mr. Harper's Europe Trip Diary, I think I called it. Those are some ways that you can keep in touch, and I can be the guinea pig and kind of report on my trip so that the people who go next year can know what's coming. So thanks for listening, and I promise again the next videos after this hopefully will be much more entertaining.